Hey everyone. Well, I hope everybody is having a great day, and hopefully I can make your day a little bit better with some information that may be useful to you. I've had some requests as of late to do a bit and give a bit more information on the 12 chakra system, which seems to be becoming quite popular, and people seem to be interested in knowing what's going on. So I'm going to do the video. And there are a couple of points that I want to make here, but I want to do it in a way that people can understand that this is a process of evolution. And I'm not in a situation where I'm trying to pass judgment on anyone or criticize anyone else's information on the 12 chakra system that they're putting out. That's my disclaimer. From there on, it's a wide open field. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention here that initially, when I started going to the Dream State School, at one particular point, whenever the teachers would want us to see something or know something, they could communicate with us telepathically and we would hear it right smack in the middle of our head. And they would simply manifest a body. Now, the only thing that we never got to work on the whole time that I was in this school was actually a physical body. What we got to work on was the mental body, the emotional body, the astral body, the etheric body, all of those names and labels that we know about, and different variations of different kinds of sheath bodies also. We got to work on those. And in one particular session, they had a body. It would look like a silhouette body. You could actually see right through it, all right, a silhouette body. And in this silhouette body, there was a 12 chakra system. And I emphasize in the body, all right? And they said that humanity was at a point where the evolutionary process was taking us to the point where our physical bodies, our mental body, our emotional body, and the etheric body needed to evolve and it needed to expand. And because of this, we now required additional chakra system to complement the 7 chakra system. And they showed, like an overlay, the 12 chakra system. And all of the chakras were in the overlay body. All right. Now, the reason I'm saying this is consciousness as we know it, as we express it, expresses through the physical vehicle. And the physical vehicle, as a great many of you know, has been going through a lot of symptoms, a lot of changes. Our digestive system is changing. Our reproductive system is changing. Our sexual energy is changing. Everything is evolving and changing in the physical body. So therefore, we need those additional chakras. And this is what they said, because we were expanding, the human body, the human form, the human condition was moving to a 12 chakra system, which was contained within the physical body. Now, I understand that there are individuals who are putting out information that the 12 chakra system, there's 2 or 3 above the head, and in some cases there's a couple below the feet. I need to mention the 12 chakra system exists in the physical body only. I am in total agreement that there are chakras below the feet and there are chakras above the head, that they are not part of the 12 chakra system. And this is a very important point, because I noticed something here on the planet recently, and it's like, you give people some information, and all of a sudden, before they even know what's going on with the 12 chakra system, we got people running around looking and discovering and finding additional chakras and wanting to know all about them. And they haven't even learned what we have to offer in the 12 chakra system, which is going on within themselves. And more importantly, for most of you, Any of you who are adults at this particular point in time and going through the evolutionary process, called it spiritual awakening if you want, you are templating or going to template that 12 chakra system. And if you happen to have children, your children are going to go through the same process also, probably sooner than you. So it behooves me to remind you, you need to learn everything you can about the 12 chakra system and the consciousness and the expression and the symptoms of the awakening of the 12 chakra system, where they're located, and all of the pertinent information that goes along with it. Your responsibility in regards to your spiritual awakening is to get informed. Now, a lot of people will say, go within, all the answers are within. I agree, totally. All of the answers of everything you ever wanted to know in the whole of the universe and the cosmos is all within you. Okay? I get more chuckles over that one than you can shake a stick at, all right? The spiritual community has been saying that for hundreds of years, and they're saying it even more so nowadays. And you know what? We still have many people going through the evolutionary process who are so confused, they don't know whether their ass is a hole in the ground or a punch board. They don't. So when someone offers some information about it, all right, you always get people who are going to come in and say something like that. That's what the spiritual community does. They have a protocol that they want everybody to follow. And since I'm not part of the spiritual community, I'm part of the evolutionary process and I'm an individual who's going through it. I don't have to conform to all of those silly protocols and rules and behavior module that the spiritual community expects. Okay, and I love being different. All right, I'm not a herd person. I'm not going to follow the herd. So, in respect to the chakra system, those chakras exist above the head, and they are those chakras that exist below the feet. But the 12 chakra system is for the developing evolutionary consciousness and the multidimensional development of the physical body, the organs of the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body, to evolve so that it can be maintained in a three-dimensional existence in the physical body. So I emphasize that point to everyone. Okay, so I hope everybody understands that. All right. The other thing that I want to make mention here is this, is when I was in the school, I asked probably the same question that everybody else would ask. I'm looking at this 12 chakra system that they have manifest in this silhouette body. And the very first thing that came to my mind, which probably comes to everybody else's mind, well, what color are the chakras? And the teacher in question telegraphed it to me, if you will. Do you need some colors, Mel? And I said, well, how am I supposed to know what one chakra is doing at any particular given time if we don't have a color to focus on? And the teacher said to me, if you're in consciousness and you're living in three-dimensional reality, how often does your mind change or fluctuate during the course of a day? How many moods do you go through? How many changes of thought do you go through? How many different times would you be visualizing or seeing something? And I said, well, that would be all day long. And even during sleep. So you just answered your own question, was what I got. And I still didn't get it until later when I figured out that at any given time, at any point of reference, at any time of mood, and your moods can be multitude during the day, any chakras could be any color for an extended period of time, whatever you want. You can go into a meditation and see your heart center as being sky blue pink, and that's what it'll be. But when you finish the meditation, it's going to go exactly by the mood or the state of consciousness or the feeling that is a combination of your emotional and mental and your consciousness and even the Kundalini energy moving through your body. So to put color to a chakra doesn't make any sense, all right? Any good clairvoyant will tell you, and I mean a good clairvoyant, will tell you that a chakra never stays the same color at all. It's constantly ebbing and flowing with a multitude of different colors in that perspective. So I wouldn't give at any particular point in time any colors to the chakras at all. They have no meaning and no significance to me at any particular point in time. I can create my own colors, whatever I want. Anybody who's clairvoyant who can see me can see the emanation of the energy that's around me in the auric field. Therefore, that's the radiation that's coming from the chakra system as a total identification mark of who and what I am. That's the important part. The chakra system of itself is simply a portal or a gateway to different states of consciousness. That's the key. To different states of consciousness as a multidimensional being through the evolutionary process, you will get to travel and explore those states of consciousness through the 12 chakra system. Are you with me so far? Good. Okay, now, number 8, and this is my numbers, the number from the chakra system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I started number 8 to simplify things. I'm a simple guy. I'm not very complicated, all right? Number 8 is below the heart center chakra. It's called the wishing well, or the creative chakra. I like the creative chakra. It is also a dormant chakra. It's been there for who knows how long, doesn't matter. And it's being reactivated. It was dormant simply because as a species, we have lost our creative abilities as a co-creator simply because we're involved in the school, the playground. We're in here for ego, we're in here for power, we're in here for manipulation, we're in here for control, we're in here for money, we're in here for fame, we're in here to play. This is play school, and everybody's an actor, and everyone is participating in their own reality as they create it through themselves in limited fashion. But that's changing. As the heart center activation has awakened, and a multitude of you are now going through the process of your personality is changing and modifying and growing and evolving, you're going to achieve something. And I've mentioned this in a few of my videos in the past, and I think some of you got your noses out of joint when I mentioned it, when I said there was a whole pile of spiritual people in the spiritual community who don't have spiritual maturity. And there's still a lot of you that don't, all right? Spiritual maturity is indicated when an individual has acquired the peace of mind and the center of balance, that it doesn't matter what anybody says or does, nothing seems to ruffle their feathers, and they have the ability to be able to stand in their authenticity and reflect upon what they're seeing, viewing, or is coming towards them, and participate only in it if it suits their vibration and their pattern. Whenever you see a person who is willing to defend their spiritual belief systems and attack the individual that has actually triggered them, you have a spiritually immature person. They're not mature. Because once they become spiritually mature, what happens is the personality has changed. And when that is changed enough, you get access to your co-creative power within yourself to be able to manifest. Because what would be the point of giving you that power beforehand? If you want to defend and attack, you would use that additional co-creative power to do exactly that. So until you grow up and stop being babies, spiritually, you don't get access to that power at all. And that's what the creative chakra is for. When the personality has changed and evolved enough and you're out of the diaper stage and you're past the adult stage and you're into the spiritually mature adult or soul, if we can put it that way, you get access to the creative chakra. Did you like the way I put that? I probably pissed a lot of people off with that one, all right? There's Red Mel, he just gets his digs in. He loves to dig. Yes, he does. He loves to dig. I'm a digger. Well, growth is perpetual, one way or the other. We're all going to get assimilated by ourselves. By ourselves. Don't you love it? Okay, let's go on. All right, the next one coming up. Oh, and by the way, I did mention that the creative chakra is a dormant one. Okay, it's been there, but we lost use of it because we were lower in vibration. Also, the 12 chakra system exists in the physical body and contained within the physical body, not above or below the physical body. Those are not part of the 12 chakra system. Very important point. So important, a lot of people will discover why in a few months down the road. Okay, next one is the dimensional chakra. This chakra is a brand new chakra. It has been put in to the overlay template of individuals. And I can assure you that this chakra does not become active until the person has reached a level of spiritual maturity that they can handle, even more of their comfort zone belief systems about their own spiritual beliefs start to fall away and disintegrate. Case in point, when I started discovering I was having simultaneous lifetimes going on at the same time, my idea and acceptance of reincarnation as a reality went right out the window. I no longer believe in it. And yet there are people who will defend it till they're blue in the face because that's the only way that they've ever experienced it. Hey, you know, if you've never got hit by a bus, then you never know what it feels like, do you? All right, so anybody who has ever got hit by a bus can tell you what it feels like. All right, and anyone who hasn't experienced a multidimensional aspect of themselves in a different timeline or dimension cannot tell you what it feels like. I mean, a pickle can only tell you what it feels like to be in a jar. A pickle can't tell you what it feels like to get hit by a bus because it's only ever lived in a jar. And a jar is a very contained feel, and it has a whole lot of other pickles in there, and only the pickles can communicate in pickle language. And their experience is limited because they're in a jar. They can see outside of the jar, but they can't perceive anything because their vision is blocked because they can't see through all of the other pickles in the jar. Are you with me on that one? So the dimensional chakra allows the individual who has reached enough spiritual maturity to the development of personality to be able to not go into culture shock, burn out their nervous system in the chakra system, and be able to handle it. And I see this in the spiritual community all the time. You have now people just starting Heart Center Awakening, all right? You have people who are partially the way through it, and they're in the stage where they haven't quite reached a spiritual maturity yet, and they need to attack and defend. And there's a place for them too, all right? And sooner or later, they will get it, or they'll regress even lower, as it were. This evolutionary process we're going through is very similar to survival of the fittest. It really is. All this woo-woo shit that the spiritual community puts on, that everybody's going to be saved, and you know, God's going to come in a chariot, and Jesus is going to come and get all us good souls and take us into heaven. That's fantasy. It's an illusion that's been prophesied and predicted for thousands of years, and it's nothing more than a religious indoctrination. The evolutionary process is moving us to the point where we're now getting information, knowledge, and experience and discovering who and what we really are that moves way beyond what we've experienced up to this particular point in time. And when the dimensional chakra opens up, this is what happened. And it doesn't open till the individual is ready for that and can handle the opening and can handle being in different dimensions, being in different timelines, experiencing more and more of what people call out-of-body experiences, and spending more time in some of their other bodies that actually are part of their own expression. And this takes some doing. You got to be ready for this stuff. And if you're not spiritually mature, there are places you don't want to go, or you're not ready to go. And you're not going to go there until you do. And if you want to hang on to your old belief systems, that's fine too. Nobody has a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. All I'm doing is trying to reach those people who are moving in a direction that is applicable to someone who's opening, kind of thing. Everyone's going to get there sooner or later, I hope, but there's no guarantee. And this thing about everybody's going to be saved, that's just a matter of opinion. That's old prophecy talk. If you want to get saved, you got to do it yourself. Save yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Not going to happen. Okay. The other thing that happens with the dimensional chakra is that the dimensional chakra is directly connected to, and I want to mention this because it is important, to the immune system as a whole. Now, each one of these chakras are located in different parts of the body, and when they begin to activate correspondingly, and I have to mention this, there are going to be significant changes in the body physical. For example, the digestive system that we have is not functioning in a higher vibrational pattern. There's too much additive, preservatives, chemicals, junk going into the digestive system. That includes external chemicals of any type, shape, or form. Distorts the process, and I don't care how other people see it or how beneficial they think it is, it's not on an evolutionary scale. So what happens is when the dimensional chakra opens, it is in direct relationship with the immune system also. And the immune system is immediately going to start going through what I call a cough and spit phase. Cough and spit, what that means is you're going to go through a whole pile of situations where you're going to have a lot of cold, a lot of viruses, you're going to catch things that aren't going to be contagious, you're going to go through things like bouts of flu, but you don't have the flu and nobody else is getting it from you, and you go to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong with you, because what's happening is a whole bunch of viruses and bacteria and other little gobbledygooks and gimmies and whatever's kind of thing that have been in your vibrational pattern and field and in your genetic and hereditary gene pool traits and whatever else has to be eliminated, and the body has to eliminate them by manifesting them for a short period of time. And this pertains to the dimensional chakra. Also, in regards to the dimensional chakra, depending upon the heart center development and the personality development, it's at this point when the dimensional chakra begins to open that you begin to incorporate what I call the sheath bodies. Now, I'm not saying sheet, I'm saying sheath. Sheath, if I spelled it correctly. Sheath, I believe, is the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Some people are calling it the sheet body. It's not a sheet, it's sheath in that sense, okay? And when these sheath bodies come in, what they are going to do, first of all, is this. I'll give you a little sample because I'm not going to get into this because it'll take me 2 hours. When you incorporate the sheath bodies, they will come in usually 2 or 3 at a time, and they will be incorporated based on the evolutionary consciousness that you've gone through, based on the belief systems that you have let go of, and based on the new belief systems, because as soon as you eliminate belief systems, you're going to create new ones. You'll do that as long as you're in three-dimensional reality. Nothing wrong with that. But the belief system that you create now, because you're becoming a co-creator a little bit, are flexible in the sense that you're not going to be rigid with them. Okay, you'll let them go as you see yourself growing, but you need something to keep you tangent and balanced in three-dimensional reality within the physical body. Okay, I want everybody to understand that. This is a very important point here. You need to understand that belief systems are good if they don't become inflexible, where you will not let go of them. Where you, when you get one and you'll defend it, you've got a problem. All right. If you create a new one and then suddenly 6 months down the road, say, oh, okay, I really don't follow that philosophy anymore. Cool. You're going to create another one. That's exactly the flow that you need to be into. So when that happens, you will start incorporating the sheath body. And like I said, they usually come in 2s and 3s, so you can handle it. The way they will come in, now there's variations to this, okay? Not everybody's going to be the same. Mine came through, down through the top of my head, through the crown chakra, and came in as a silhouette, silvery, shimmering body, came into my body, completely integrated, and then kind of went through a click and lock and load, and then it disappeared within. And that was what happened. And they came in usually 2 or 3 at a time until there were 12. But in my particular case, for some reason, I got an extra one, the 13th, of which I have some information on, but I'm not going to share it in this video anyways, not for now anyway. But there are others, I'm assuming, also who got a 13th sheath body come in. Now, what happens with these sheath bodies, as the belief systems and the personality have changed, the first two or three, okay, it came in, say, two or three of them, they will start, I'm going to put it this way so you'll get it, downloading the new energetic templates through belief systems that you have incorporated into your consciousness. They're like a safety deposit box. Okay, the body will contain energetic sheath or webbing, if you will. If you could see it, look like this. Imagine you have. I'm getting excited here. I'm not getting into this shit. I get excited. So I apologize. No, why should I apologize? Excited is good. Okay, so I get excited. So what happens is when it starts going, the belief system that you've incorporated gets downloaded as energetic waves. Okay, it's like if you could see a fishnet and you could imagine it being bigger and with energy in it and streams of energy in this sheath body, it downloaded into that particular sheath body and it stays there until you change it, all right? And each one of these sheath bodies represent one of the chakra systems in the body. Okay, so they're multi-purpose in what they do, all right? So you download, let's suppose you change a particular belief system about eating food, okay? So that would go toward the solar plexus or the digestive part of the body. So that would require a particular sheath body to store or template that energy. All right, this is why I say you're becoming a multidimensional being. We're no longer just a physical entity, we're becoming a multidimensional being. But to become a multidimensional being, we have to have bodies, okay, or containment fields to put these new belief systems or these new expressions of consciousness and store them so we have them at our disposal. All right. So in other words, look at it this way. This is really good stuff. The idea here is this, okay, is we're going to have, and this is really exciting, we're going to have some people, and I'm probably going to see it in my lifeline, who are going to do what some of you call the ascension, okay? And the ascension is going to happen right now, and it's going to happen in the physical while they're still in the body, all right? Because what's going to happen is as these individuals continue to make deposits in these sheath bodies, and you incorporate more of the sheath bodies and you keep downloading them with changes and evolving and belief systems and new states of consciousness and the information about the body physical, all right? And the body physical begins to change in direct conjunction to the sheath bodies and the storage of information that you've put in. You're going to have ascension happen right here on the planet, right while people are in the physical body. All right? I mean, this is crazy stuff. It really is. It gets me so excited when I get into it. All right? And this is what happens. And this is all part of the package that goes in with the dimensional chakra that I'm talking about. This is, in my opinion, probably one of the most important ones after the heart center awakening, because it involves so many other things. So you'll incorporate these sheath bodies and you'll do this. Now, eventually, what will happen, and I just want to mention this also, is over the years when I was actually doing a lot of healing work and energy work, I don't do it anymore, I just do the teaching, is I've noticed that teenagers, and even kids younger, were actually templating the 12 chakra system. So eventually what's going to happen is this whole process that humanity is going through right now, more or less, is going to happen in the womb as part of the process of birth. It's backing up, it's backing up, it's backing up, it's backing up. Generation upon generation, the kids are getting younger and younger that incorporate that. So I don't think people fully realize just how important the stuff that's going on right now really is. Like, and we're all into this woo-woo stuff and planetary this and all that kind of stuff in the next friggin' event. We're missing the boat on what actually is really important. I mean, what I'm talking about is excitement. This is what it's all about. This is what makes it all happen in this sense. And this is what the heart center activation is actually doing at this particular point in time. So that's kind of a briefie, if you will, on the dimensional chakra. And I want to talk about the other two, okay? The other two which are significant. And these two, oh wait, hang on, I missed one. Well of the Dreams, back of the head, forgot that one. That one also is a dormant chakra. That's been there for a millennia, but we only got activation of it recently in the last 10, 15 years. And basically, it's called the Well of Dreams. And what's happened is that when it activates, one of the most important points that people have missed, is this, and I'm going to mention it now. When the Well of Dreams at the back of the head, right up here, gets active, the imaginative faculty, which every one of us have, is intensified and multiplied to the power of 10 or more, which means the co-creative energy of the heart center and the imaginative faculty combined together give you the tools of creation. Add in the creative center, which gives you access to your co-creative power through the development of your personality. Add in the imaginative faculty. Now you can see where all of this would get a little on the messy side when it's starting to activate. You could get people creating with their imagination and creating all kinds of stuff that actually not happening. It could be all in their head. They're seeing it. They're feeling it. They actually believe it's happening. All right. This is a temporary situation. All right. I don't know how many people have said to me, well, Mel, what you're telling me you're saying is all in my head. Yep. That's where a lot of it is. People need to understand that whenever a new faculty is being activated, it's like going through the birth process all over again. It's never usually very accurate in the beginning. One needs to nurture it, baby it, coddle it, allow it time to develop. The problem nowadays is everybody wants to be a star. Everyone wants to jump up on the podium. They don't want to wait until their faculty develops or their creative ability evolves to full bloom. They want to get up and do it when they're half-assed way through it, okay? And they look foolish and they embarrass themselves and then they disappear. And if they just wait a little bit, all right? I never woke up till I was 38. What's the rush? I never got on YouTube until 10 years ago. I took my time and I waited. But the generations we live in now, it's got to be speed. Everything with speed. Haste makes waste. Bottom line. Allow the faculty to develop, especially the imaginative faculty, because it needs to be used in conjunction with the appropriate personality development, and it needs to be used in conjunction with the co-creative chakra, and these need to be in balance. And this is what is happening with a lot of people. You go through periods, even I have to admit, I go through periods, and I have gone through periods where I've been very imbalanced, and that's when I keep my mouth shut, and I don't say anything, and I let things come into fruition before I do anything. And this is a very important point. The other thing is this, is with the dream state, I just did a video training in the dream state, okay? And this is what's happening now at this particular point. Because the dream state, oh, and I want to mention it, when the person has reached a sense of spiritual maturity, as I call it, they start getting the training exercises in the dream state. Now, they might say, what the hell's going on? I have no idea. It's wacko. I mean, with all these weird and crazy things. That's only your waking state consciousness giving an opinion on a perspective of what's going on within you. But in reality, what's going on within you at this point is everything is being sorted out. Everything is being played out. And a lot of that stuff that you're experiencing in the dream state is the balancing and the proper information being put into those sheath bodies, okay? And they're downloaded, and they're being sorted, and they're being shifted. You know, here's the thing. Everybody ask yourself this question. Do you think you're accomplishing more in the dream state in regards to your evolutionary process than you are accomplishing in the waking state? Because every time something happens in the waking state, what are you doing? You're asking 10,000 questions. You want answers for 10,000 questions. If you think that your soul, your higher self, your oversoul is going to stop every time that you want to ask a question and try to understand what the hell's going on, why do you think you're doing it all in the dream state? Because what is missing in the dream state? That person that asked all the friggin' questions is not there. Because finally, you shut up. You actually shut up in the dream state. You stop yapping and gabbing. You stop asking questions. You experience. You see. So that's when the greatest evolutionary process can happen. When the shut up you is asleep. And no questions is coming from your analytical, intellectual mind, which you've been brainwashed to do through the school system. So this is what's happening in the dream state. Well, not rocket science, folks. I understand it perfectly. Now, if I can get some of you to understand it here, we'll get a lot more done and a lot more quickly in that sense. All right? So this is what it's all about when it comes to the dream state. And the other thing that takes place in the dream state when this one activates is anything that you knew about analyzing your dream state. Wow, I'm 36 minutes in this video. I still got a little ways to go here. This is going to be longer than I thought. Sorry. The dream state is so crucial at this particular point in time because it's for that exactly reason that all of this is happening in the dream state the way it is. So you're not losing it because you've already lost it, or you wouldn't be having it in the dream state. All right. The sheath bodies can actually load up on all of the balanced states of consciousness that you are experiencing. But when you wake up and you look and say, oh my God, what a mess. It's not a mess. It's totally orderly what's happening in the dream state. And this is being downloaded into the sheath bodies as part of your multidimensionalism that you're becoming. Okay? Okay, I want to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to get to the last two. The last two chakras in the 12 chakra system, which are contained within the body, are on the left-hand side of the head and the right-hand side of the head, and they're smaller. They're not that big, all right? And if any of you have experienced transitory headaches that seem to go from one side to the other, all right, or you've had a sensation like someone drilling a hole in your head on one side and then the other, you are experiencing what I call integration of both hemispheres of the brain. The link up is being made. And when that link up is being made, you give birth, literally, to two chakras, one on each side of the head, which is in direct conjunction with the crown chakra. And what happens is this: if you could see it, you would see the energy coming out of this side of the head. Wait a minute, I got my hands in the wrong position. And coming out of that side of the head. And then all of a sudden, it would go like this. And it would form a pyramid over the top of your head and link with the crown chakra, because the crown chakra is universal energy, if you will, all right? And the chakra on one side over here is the masculine and the feminine. So in order to be a universal multidimensional being, you have to have a masculine feminine essence, which is first of all produced through the reproductive area. In the female, the ovaries, and in the male, the testicles. One ovary is masculine, one ovary is feminine, one hemisphere is feminine, one side is masculine. Voila, this is not rocket science. And then when they open, which is conducive to all of the components that I've taken and talked about, in variation, depending on individuals here. You know, it's not all written in stone exactly the way I say it. There are variations according to constitution, hereditary, genetics, and DNA, and soul group, and trauma. And a good thing, when this happened, this forms that pyramid of power. And at that point, higher self or oversoul, or whatever term you want to call it, can become and descend down, because now the vehicle of the physical body is now an appropriate place for the real you to live, in. Higher self, oversoul, whatever term you want to use, can descend down via the pyramid, because you're in balance, integrate with the physical body, integrate with the 12 sheath bodies that have now downloaded all of the pertinent information as to the identification and identity of who you are. So higher self just has to jump in, absorb all of the information in the sheath bodies. Voila! You have a multidimensional being living in three-dimensional reality, and you're now ready for ascension. What is ascension? When all of this process takes place, then you can move physically from three-dimensional reality to what some people call the fourth or the fifth, still maintain a presence within 3D, but you're not really here. Okay? Because you're there. And you're not really there because you're still here. But you can do all of this because now you're a multidimensional ism in a multidimensional state of consciousness, in a multidimensional process of thinking, being. How does that grab you? Now this is a video worth listening to. Have a great day, everybody.